Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call our meeting to order. Could we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amanda, will you call the roll?
Trustee Messick?
Here.
Trustee Rocco?
Here.
Trustee Sheehan?
Here.
Trustee Casera is absent. Trustee Lautner is absent. Trustee Zora?
Here.
President DeCipio?
Here.
Quorum is present, sir.
Thank you, Amanda. First on our agenda is the swearing-in ceremony of paid-on-call firefighter Matt Scott. Matt Scott took a position with our fire department as a full-time contract paramedic firefighter on October 2nd, 2017. He also became a paid-on-call firefighter with our department at that time. Prior to such, Matt had been working for PSI as a full-time contract paramedic firefighter in a nearby fire district. Matt grew up in Brookfield and moved to LaGrange Park. His father, who I went to grammar school with, that's why we look so young, retired from Pleasant View Fire Protection District as a career firefighter paramedic and still works for the district in various paid-on-call capacities today. During the past year, Matt has been learning about LaGrange Park Fire Department policies, standard operating guidelines, and general operations. Most recently, he has successfully completed his probationary testing, which includes general knowledge of policies, SOGs, apparatus, and equipment, and a practical driving and pumping test. Therefore, we recommend swearing in Matt Scott as paid-on-call firefighter for the Village of LaGrange Park. Chief, would you do the honors? And Amanda?
First of all, I think we'll have Amanda go ahead and do the formal swearing in. Probably babble for a while, but just tonight is a very special night to welcome Matt aboard our department formally, even though he's been here for a year. And why don't we go ahead with the swearing in, and we'll go after that.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Matt Scott, hereby solemnly swear that I will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and I will faithfully carry out all the duties imposed and entrusted in me as a firefighter for the Village of LaGrange Park.
Again, we appreciate having Matt with us. Matt is an excellent paramedic. We're glad he decided to come over to our department last year from another department. As stated, he is full-time contract paramedic on our fire department, so he works a regular full-time shift every third day here. But then he also gives his time to us after those hours on his days off from his full-time employment as a true paid-on-call member. As I've said many times in the past, it takes a lot of commitment to run our department the way it does, and it takes a lot of commitment from Matt as being one of our personnel and firefighters to allow us to serve the community in the way we do, and we appreciate that commitment. If you can, why don't you introduce who you have here tonight with you?
I have my fiance Kelly, my dad Craig, my mom Beth, brother Gavin, my uncle Bill, who is a former POC here, and my aunt Sue.
Thank you and welcome. And as I know both of you, your father more than Bill, thanks for your contributions and for leading the way for Matt. I'm sure he greatly appreciates it. And he'll tell you that again after, right, Matt? No, he's a good guy. I'm sure he said that many times. What we typically like to do is formally have someone pin the badge on Matt to kind of bring him in and make this formal, even though he's taken his oath. And so if you want to call somebody up.
Call my dad.
Close. Well, maybe it means something. But again, thank you for letting him be part of our family now. We greatly appreciate it. He does a wonderful job when he is here and helps us out immensely, and we greatly appreciate that. So thank you again, and congratulations once more. And again,
Matt, on behalf of the board and staff, we want to congratulate you and thank you for serving our community. Our firefighters are going to stay, huh? Thank you for coming, you guys.
Poor Cindy.
Cindy, I shouldn't have said anything until you were done.
Really?
Okay, next up on our agenda, I have the privilege of introducing our next speaker. There are people in our community who are lookers and those that are doers, and the next person I'm going to introduce is certainly a doer. Cindy Frymark has been involved in the community of LaGrange Park, Western Springs for an awful long time. I've known Cindy since our work with the Science Center, and she's gone on to much bigger things with a coalition now for drug awareness, and that represents all of our community. And she's a phenomenal person who has really committed and given our all to the health of our children. So, Cindy, without further ado, Cindy's going to go from the Coalition of Drug-Free Lions Township. Cindy, it's all yours.
On. So I want to thank Jim for inviting me to come and speak to the other village trustees tonight. Jim has been part of the conversation since we first started the coalition. So in the fall, I'm going to give a brief summary of the history and then kind of where we are, and then what we have some requests and expectation we hope that you'll consider going forward. So in the fall of 2014, the coalition came together initially as a group of concerned residents, providers, community leaders, educators, and funders with a common goal of doing something to help our youth avoid the pitfalls associated with the use of alcohol and drugs. The research clearly shows a close connection also between mental illness and substance abuse. The burning question at the time was, now that we all agree we have a problem, how do we affect long-term change? After some further investigation, the CADCA, Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America model of prevention, was agreed upon as having the most potential for success in our community. The Drug-Free Coalition of Lyons Township formed under the umbrella and fiscal agency of the Lyons Township Mental Health Commission. The mission of the coalition is to build a healthy, safe, and drug-free community. 2015 was our first year of existence. The concept of community coalitions to reduce substance abuse by youth is well established. STAMPS identified community coalitions as a successful vehicle for bringing about change in a community's health. A coalition is traditionally defined as a group of individuals representing diverse organizations, factions, or constituency who agree to work together to achieve a common goal. Community coalitions differ from these in that they include professional and grassroots members committed to work together to influence long-term health and welfare practices in their communities. Additionally, given their ability to leverage existing resources in the community and convene diverse organizations, community coalitions connotate a type of collaboration that is considered to be sustainable over time, and this was really important to us. So upon completion of a needs assessment that included data from 13 police departments, youth focus groups, agencies providing services to teens dealing with substance abuse and mental health issues, hospital ER data, and school social workers, the Coalition for Drug-Free Lyons Township identified 4 priorities in our community. Number 1, underage drinking, followed by marijuana, prescription drug use, and mental health as it relates to these behaviors. The goals of the coalition are increase the awareness and understanding of the extent of the underage drinking and marijuana problem in the community, and the new teen brain science that we have available to us now, the risks and consequences of drinking and drug use for youth, to engage the entire community, especially parents, in the effort to significantly reduce underage drinking, marijuana, and substance use, reduce the availability of alcohol and marijuana to youth, and increase the support for youth and parents to be drug and alcohol-free. So you have in your packet the coalition members and the 7 strategies for community change used in the prevention framework model. You can see some examples of the types of information used by the coalition to inform parents and community about the current research trends and data on teen drug use. Our Teen Room Hidden in Plain Sight exhibit is popular and a successful strategy to show parents how creative teens can be hiding their drug and alcohol use. Our parent cafes offer small group discussions on a variety of topics and are growing in popularity and attendance. Currently, vaping is of growing concern to most parents. We recently hosted a standing room only crowd on the topic of legalizing marijuana. We had a very successful Alcohol Awareness Month with a sticker shop campaign sponsored by our youth task force, and successful publications of op-eds and letters to the editor in local newspapers. We are excited about a new relationship with the Chicago Metro, and our PSA underage drinking and drug campaign are now on all Metro trains. They have been all summer. This past spring, Lyons Township participated in the Illinois Youth Survey. All grade levels participated. And for those of you that don't know, the Illinois Youth Survey is a self-report survey administered in school settings, and it's designed to gather information about a variety of health and social indicators, including substance use patterns and attitudes of Illinois youth. It's been around since 1990. It's a highly respected survey. I'd like to briefly share some of our local findings from this survey. You have a summary of the data in your packet. And our priorities for the coalition, though, remain unchanged after reviewing the Illinois Youth Survey results. Our community still has high alcohol use amongst teens, marijuana and vaping are growing, and anxiety and depression issues are escalating too. So just to kind of summarize some of the youth survey data you have. Substance abuse in the past year among 12th grade youth. There's an uptick in marijuana use. There's a slight downward trend in other areas except for vaping, which is on the rise. Substance use in past 30 days amongst 10th graders. Past 30-day use indicates a big rise in tobacco and e-cigarettes. We're all hearing about that in the news. That should be no surprise. And an increase in marijuana use as well. Substance use in the past 30 days among seniors. It's similar to 10th graders. There is an increase in marijuana, but drinking is still the most popular substance. For first-time users in 10th grade, a quarter of 10th graders drink for the first time from spring to spring. Nearly as many tried vaping and e-cigarettes. First-time users, for seniors, e-cigarette use has gained and nearly doubled. Now, where are teens getting their alcohol in this community? It's available in social settings leading to all other sources. And we're not sure if the difference between the parent supply, most kids say they get it from their parents, whether these parents host parties, or unsecured liquor in the home. That's, we haven't looked at that data closely enough yet to decide. Half of all marijuana users bought the drug. Greater than 80% had it given to them. And half of prescription drugs were bought from someone, and 1 in 4 users took drugs from others. Driving under the influence. About twice as many seniors have driven stoned as compared to drunk driving. They think it's okay to drive stoned versus they've gotten the message, don't drink and drive. So, that said, I want to walk you through the left side of your packet. There's not enough time to cover each item in depth. So much of the information is for you, your further reading and consideration after tonight. The first documents address the issue of social hosting because the Coalition for Drug-Free Lyons Township conducted the needs assessment and showed we have this major problem in our community with parental attitudes towards teens and drinking. Many parents are letting their kids drink or at least turn a blind eye, expecting that that is what teens will do. Many of them are allowing their kids to drink at home, having parties or bonfires where alcohol is present. This is against Illinois social hosting statute and puts not only the teens present, but the parents themselves at risk. One of the speakers at our panel last January was Doug Pettit, whose 15-year-old son died in an accident after attending a teenage party where the mother hosting the party purchased the alcohol. That mother went to prison. Know the Law is information from the Illinois Liquor Control Commission regarding the recent social hosting laws in Illinois, which make it a crime and holds the parents responsible for underage drinking that occurs on the premises, whether they are aware or not. It states that local community ordinances may hold them responsible for emergency services and law enforcement costs in responding to incidents, as well as attorney fees and court costs. To address this, there's much you can do locally with various ordinances. Next is a proposed social hosting ordinance developed by DuPage County, which is being adopted by many DuPage municipalities. We encourage you to pass this ordinance. The 2,500 six-pack listing state penalties for underage drinking and possession, including DUI and possession offenses. It's a good handout for the public to make them aware of what's going on. Fast Facts and Social Hosting handout gives facts on the Illinois statute and considerations for villages implementing local social hosting laws. The State of Illinois Local Alcohol Ordinances is a list of these types of ordinances and the communities that have them. As you examine this issue, you may look them up individually on the Illinois Liquor Commission website. The next set of documents addresses the legalization of recreational marijuana. It's now, because of the confused dialogue between medical marijuana, legalization in other states, what's going on, think it's harmless. It's a harmless drug. So we're very concerned about this trend in this state. Next are two documents from Lurie Children's Hospital opposing that legalization due to the impact on children. The first is the institutional position on opposition to legalization of marijuana, and the next is Lurie's evidence-based position statement in opposition. It shows strong evidence of the adverse effects of the health of children and adolescents based on data from Colorado, California, and other states that have legalized it. Following those are examples of what can be done here in LaGrange Park. We are asking that you consider two model ordinances by the City of Lake Forest to ban recreational marijuana establishments in their city. The first states that the City of Lake Forest does not support the legalization or use of recreational marijuana within the city. The second is an ordinance banning businesses selling marijuana and or paraphernalia, facilitating the use of marijuana and the farming or manufacturing of marijuana in the city. It's important for the Village of LaGrange Park to consider these ordinances before any bills are passed by the Illinois General Assembly, as ordinances in place can be grandfathered. However, those municipalities that do not already have ordinances in place would be under the control of whatever stipulations the final version of the recreational marijuana bill may contain. I want to thank you for your time tonight, and please consider carefully the information we've shared with you. And I was going to invite, I know this is televised, so I'd like to invite any community members that would like to join the coalition. We meet the second Monday of the month. We're meeting out LT at 4 o'clock in the afternoons at North Campus of LT. If you're interested, you can contact the Mental Health Commission, and they can put you in touch with the coalition. Are there any questions from the?
Anyone have any questions for Cindy?
Thank you. That was easy, so.
Well, Cindy, I have one.
Okay.
You know, I talked to you about the Lions, the high school newspaper.
Yes.
The recent edition had a big fold-out middle section about vaping and these jewels. And just for the heck of it, I went to a couple of our local retailers, and you can purchase these things. You know, you have to be of age, but you can purchase them quite readily. And my son, who coaches there, says that this is a tremendous problem with these kids, the vaping and the jewel use in school, and that these kids are just getting buzzed off this stuff because it's so concentrated.
It is, and they are vaping marijuana along with all the flavored oils. And I just became aware recently that there was a diagnosis of popcorn lung in a 17-year-old in Illinois. So that means they're vaping a lot. That's a condition. I don't know if you remember, but years ago, people were working in movie theaters with the popcorn that had created a serious lung disease that, so vaping is a public safety issue. And, Rauner just vetoed the Tobacco 21 ordinance in the state of Illinois. So we were disappointed in that because we work with other state coalitions on some of the bigger legislative issues, part of our mission, so.
So not only alcohol and drugs, you've got all this to deal with now too,
Right,
so
right.
thank
So
you for all your
that's,
efforts.
just adding the problems for the teachers in the schools and the police when they get called, so, yeah. So we need your help. It's a community effort, and I think now that LT has taken the youth survey, they'll be sharing this data more publicly soon, I know, and pulling community groups together, so I hope that you'll be part of that conversation too.
Great. Thank you, Cindy, for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, public participation. Anyone care to address the board? Consent agenda, Amanda?
The items on this evening's consent agenda are as follows. A, approval of minutes, village board meeting, August 28th, 2018. Work session meeting, September 11th, 2018. B, action motion to authorize the president and chairperson of the finance committee to sign the register for bills and authorize the treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in the payment of operating bills and salaries is itemized in the check registers. C, action motion to authorize the village treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in the payment of payroll and other bills that become due between this date and October 23rd, 2018, with subsequent approval of the payroll register and voucher register by the Board of Trustees at its regular meeting to be held on October 23rd, 2018.
Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Amanda, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Rocco?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Amanda. Moving on, village manager's report in Julie's absence. Emily, do you have anything to report?
Nothing to report. Thank you.
Administration committee, in the absence of trustee Lautner, trustee Sheehan, would you please give the report?
Sure, Mr. President, thank you. The refuse recycling survey, the village, through a contract with Republic Services, provides weekly curbside refuse, recycling, and yard waste collection to single-family homes within the community. The village's 5-year contract with Republic expires in March of 2019, and the village will soon be issuing a competitive request for proposal, RFP, for a new multi-year contract. The village is seeking resident input on overall satisfaction with the current program in order to help shape and inform the village board's decision-making as it relates to the current program, and whether any changes or improvements should be considered as part of a new contract. The survey only takes 3 to 5 minutes to complete. If you're interested, please visit the village website to complete the survey online or stop by Village Hall to complete a paper copy. Your answers will remain anonymous and will be given full consideration by the village and staff. To date, the village has received nearly 300 responses for the survey. The Downspout Disconnection Assistance Program. As you know, the village has a mandatory downspout disconnection law requiring all downspouts be disconnected from the combined sewer system by January 1st, 2019, right around the corner. The Downspout Disconnection Assistance Program provides incentives in the form of reimbursements to help owners meet the deadline. Many homeowners have already taken advantage of this program and have received their reimbursements. Funding is limited, and reimbursements are on a first-come, first-served basis. In order to be eligible for reimbursement, disconnection must be completed by October 31st, 2018. Save the date, the village's annual Community Cleanup Day will be held Thursday, October 18th. Residents will be permitted to dispose of an unlimited amount of refuse, excluding yard waste and brush, for a total of 4 refuse stickers. Haunted Trolley Trick-or-Treat event will be held on Friday, October 26th from 4 to 6:30 p.m. The annual event is hosted by the LaGrange Park Chamber of Commerce and is a free, family-friendly event open to the public. Trick-or-treaters are invited to hop on one of the 4 trolleys and trick-or-treat among the local LaGrange Park businesses along 31st Street and in the Village Market. Afterwards, hop on a trolley to the Park District Recreational Center for their annual costume party. Trick-or-treat bags will be provided. The community e-briefs, the village would like to encourage all residents to stay connected with what is happening in the Grange Park by signing up for the community e-briefs, our weekly electronic newsletter that is emailed out each Friday. The village currently has over 2,100 subscribers. Residents may sign up for e-briefs by going to the homepage of the village's website at www.lagrangepark.org. That concludes the administrative committee.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Building and Zoning Committee, Trustee Zora.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to report the building department activities for August of 2018. 104 building permits were issued in August compared to 108 last August. 701 permits have been issued through this August compared to 626 at the end of August 2017. Estimated construction costs for the month were approximately 150% that compared to August of last year. Permit fees collected for the month were up about the same percentage. 149 inspections were conducted this August compared to 165 last August. 12 were not approved. A van struck a column on the front of the building at Jiffy Lube. The business was closed for the day as the column provided structural support for the building. The building department worked with the business to get them back open the following day after emergency repairs were made. The village will continue to work with them on permanent repairs. Plans were submitted during the month for a new Montessori daycare located at 1905 East 31st Street. The interior will be modified with this and have a fire sprinkler system installed. Progress was made on some of the property maintenance issues at the 31st Street Shopping Plaza. Most of the smaller items were addressed, included cleaning, replacing broken windows, painting, covering the windows of vacant spaces, and minor repairs. Work continues on additional repairs and improvements. Staff worked with the principal and contractor at Brook Park School, assessing any safety issues related to the large construction project with school starting. Staff walked the site prior to the first day of school and looked at protective canopies, exiting, and the fire alarm system. Staff met during the month to conduct an initial closeout meeting for the downspout disconnect program. Residents are reminded that they must disconnect their downspouts from the village's combined sewer system by January 1st, 2018. If they want to participate in the grant-funded reimbursement program, the work must be done and approved prior to October 31st, 2018, and the program ends next month. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Zora. Engineering Capital Projects, Trustee Rocco.
Thank you, Mr. President. Topsoil areas were prepared for the placement of sod on the village's 2018 paving program. Sod placement will occur once weather conditions moderate in early fall. A punch list for the project is being developed. All construction has been completed on the Harding Avenue project. This project is administered through the Illinois Department of Transportation, and it involves a significant level of documentation to satisfy federal funding requirements. Project closeout activities will continue until late fall. Substantial progress was made on the Sherwood Road resurfacing project during August. All concrete work has been completed. The contractor for the project, K5 Construction, anticipates reprofiling the pavement and completing the paving by the end of September. This project will be completed during the current construction season. Work on the village-wide patching program was completed in early August. The contractor, M&J Asphalt, performed the work in 2 days with a minimum of inconvenience to the residents. Sealed bids were opened on August 14th, 2018 for the village's annual crack filling project. The low responsible bidder was Patriot Pavement Maintenance. The village board awarded a contract to them at their August 25th, 2018 meeting. The work is expected to take 3 days to accomplish and is scheduled to take place at the end of September or early October. There are no action items, so that concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Rocco. Public Safety Committee, Trustee Messick.
Thank you, Mr. President. We will start with the Police Department summary of activities for August of this year. Total crimes are similar to last year with 209 for the month of August compared to 189 reported through the same month last year. Total police activity is at 6,835 total incidents reported compared to 5,790 from the previous year. Traffic enforcement is similar to the prior year with 3,913 through August with 4,194 the prior year. To adopt the Adopt a Cop program for all the Grange Park schools will begin during the month of October, with a variety of Halloween safety reminders being covered. In addition, many school lockdown drills have been practiced and scheduled throughout the calendar year of 2018. The police department is presently accepting applications for the position of police officer from September 17th through November 16th of this year. Requirements for the position are included in the packet, and there is no cost to apply. Applications may be picked up in person at the Grange Park PD front desk on Monday through Friday between the hours of 8:30 and 4:30 p.m. On Saturday, October 27th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the lobby area of the LaGrange Park Village Hall, the police department, in coordination with the Lyons Township Drug-Free Coalition and the DEA, will be hosting a drug take-back event. That concludes the police department report. On to fire department. EMS incidents this month were 144. There have been 1,115 year-to-date compared to 1,133 in the same period last year. Fire rescue incidents this month are at 61, and there have been 319 for the year compared to 328 last year. On October 7th, the fire department on August 7th, the fire department assisted the PD in various capacities with the National Night Out. On August 9th, our new ladder truck participated in the Westmont Cruise Nights fire truck event, and on August 23rd, we attended the back-to-school party at Forest Road School with our new ladder truck and ambulance. During the month, fire department staff attended training sessions on pro-social workplace culture. The goal of such training is to be proactive in regards to maintaining positive employee relationships with the hiring of our 12 new candidates, while also complying with the law in regards to training that must be provided related to harassment prevention in the workplace. During the month, staff began meeting to discuss planning for our ISO survey on November 1st. On August 22nd, we witnessed the hydrostatic test of the fire sprinkler system being installed in the new home at 515 North Catherine. And on August 28th, our department hosted some advanced training for our paramedics, PALS and PHTLS. PALS stands for Pediatric Advanced Life Support, and the course teaches providers how to take care of critically ill and injured children. PHTLS stands for Pre-Hospital Trauma Life Support, and the course covers advanced education related to patients with traumatic injuries. Staff began providing EMS coverage for the Nazareth 2018 football season during the month. And then there was several events after that, and we do have one action item. All right. The purpose is to obtain board approval to waive the bidding process and enter into a contract with FH Passion to improve the main lobby, bathrooms, and staircase in the Village Hall. The main lobby of the Village Hall serves as the initial welcoming point for all persons seeking to conduct business with the village administrative, police, fire, and building staff. Besides the trial project recently completed in commemoration of the village's 125th anniversary, little has been done to improve the aesthetic quality of the lobby area. Flooring in the public areas is traffic worn and chipped. Fixtures in the restrooms are outdated and have exceeded their functional usefulness. A recent estimate received from FH Passion outlines proposed improvements for those common areas, including new flooring, safety treads and risers for the stairway leading to the lower level, lighting fixtures, toilets, mirrors, lavatories, faucets, and other miscellaneous bath fixtures. If approved, this project will result in a much more pleasing environment in which to receive residents and guests to the Village Hall. The basis for waiving the bidding process for this project is an existing cooperative job order contract initially requested by the City of Naperville and awarded to FH Passion. The contract is eligible for use by other government entities in Illinois. The amount of the proposal we received from FH Passion is $48,962.29. A customary 10% overage allowance of $4,896.22 would result in a total cost of $53,858.52, which would be taken from the capital projects funds. Staff is requesting that the formal bidding process be waived and the village utilize the cooperative job order contract, which was awarded to FH Passion by the state of Illinois to the city of Naperville and available for use by other jurisdictions. Staff recommends entering into the contract with FH Passion for construction services to improve the lobby, bathrooms, and staircase in the Village Hall. And so I would like to make a motion to authorize the village to waive the formal bidding process and utilize the cooperative job order contract awarded to FH Passion, and 2, authorize the village manager to execute the necessary contract documents with FH Passion for construction services not to exceed a total cost of $53,858.52.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion, trustee Messick?
I'm mostly in support of this. I just, quick question for whoever may, I know there's a cooperative, and I assume there's some economies of scale we're realizing here, but how does this compare to what we could even expect if we went to bid?
The job order contract is to substitute for a conventional design bid build process. So I think the theory behind it is that instead of engaging the services of an architect for a relatively small scale project like this, that it's more efficient just to negotiate directly with a contractor that's been vetted through this process by the Village of Naperville and indirectly available to many villages. We've used them before in different processes here at the village, and other villages have too. It's really, I think, very beneficial on relatively small scoped projects like this, where
Excellent. Thank you. That pretty much, I pretty much want an explanation for all the people, so that's all. I'm in support.
Thanks, trustee Messick. Trustee Rocco?
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, if we could, to expand, just because of my lack of knowledge, just for an understanding of this cooperative job order contract. So what is it? They put amounts of, like, how does it work?
basically, we negotiate with this particular vendor, Passion, with a specific scope of work that we want to do. There were several iterations of this process where they brought back samples and materials, and the village reviewed them, kind of refined the scope of the work we were interested in doing. They provided some guidance as to some of the features that we would want to consider when making our selection of this material or another, and that pricing was then iterative as well, where we initially got pricing on what we thought we wanted, but it ended up after further discussions with the rest of the staff that we wanted to refine it further, and they came back with another price from that. You certainly aren't bound to it, but in order to do bid specs and the process there involved, I think what's been found by us and in other villages over time is that economy gets lost just based on the amount of work that's necessary to bid contracts of this size. So it's negotiated.
Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out why it's cooperative, like what the benefit, maybe the benefit, I mean, it's still a benefit, but is the benefit that Naperville did the vetting for us?
Yes.
That's what you're getting?
Naperville went through a process where they had different vendors submit to them the pricing for their types of work on an hourly basis, and they evaluated them and identified Passion as the responsible low bidder for that process.
And that's what then Passion is then offering, that same pricing kind of on the scales, so that to anyone in the state of Illinois, municipalities who
Yes.
or local governments. That was and the follow-up question, thank you very much. The follow-up question is, this sounds great. Is this, when they're offering this then to all, is this something that's, they're offering it to all local governments in Illinois. Is that like could that be a big order that is, I mean, in terms of quality of work, because they're taking on too much, spreading themselves too thin, or is that unrealistic?
No, they network with a lot of the trades in that. Villages have done large-scale work with them. River Grove built a whole public works facility using this process. Other villages have replaced carpeting in their village hall using the same process. So Passion doesn't necessarily self-perform all these tasks. They identify the trades and bring the vendors in to help support their actions.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Rocco. Any other comments from the board?
Jamie Zora's gonna abstain. She's working with.
Call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Rocco?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Abstain.
President DeCipio?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Trustee Messick. Next, Public Works Committee, Trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. The following is for August for Public Works. Tree maintenance, trimming, and inspections were performed during 83 regular hours. 13 diseased trees were removed by Public Works staff. Brush pickup continued the first full week in August. Crews made multiple passes through town, spending 167 hours in picking up. 5 regular hours were spent on the maintenance of Public Works equipments and vehicles. 79 hours were spent filling potholes and patching water excavations with approximately 21 tons of asphalt. Hydrant flushing is complete on the east side of town and has continued to the center section of town. Street sweeping continued, spending 54 daytime hours. 150 of miles of village roadways were swept, collecting 27 yards of debris. Pylons were installed at the fire department, Station 2, surrounding the new generator. Crews painted curbs in all school zones throughout town. Employees attended multiple seminars, including in topics of snow and ice management and water and sewer practices. 208 day shift hours were spent on building and ground maintenance around Public Works Facility, Village Hall, and 31st Street. Block party barricades were delivered to requested addresses. 23 hours were spent completing parkway repairs from excavations and removing trees. Work orders were completed with crews removing roadkill, making sign repairs, and attending to resident concerns. Water Department operation, over 285 day shift hours and 23 overtime man hours during the month of August were spent on maintenance and repair of sewer and water mains. 33,920,000 gallons of water were purchased from the Brookfield North Riverside Water Commission. 1,477 water meters were read in Section 2. Bacterial samples were taken. 159 utility locations were identified prior to excavation. 1 water main was repaired. 4 valve boxes were repaired, 1 new hydrant was installed. That concludes Public Works, Mr. President.
Finance Committee,
Thank you, Mr. President. We are 32% into our fiscal year. Fiscal year to date, general fund revenue is at 42% of the annual budget and about $292,000 higher than the prior year. Property tax revenue is $69,000 greater than last year, due in part to refunds in the last year. Sales tax receipts are about 11% higher than last year, while telecommunication taxes are down by 8%. Permit revenue is up over 19% compared to last year. Intergovernmental revenue is now about 5% compared to last year. Income tax receipts are 3% higher than last year, likely due to the state's cut to the LGDF moving from 10% to 5% with the state's new budget. Charges for services are down about $19,000 due to lower ambulance fee receipts. Revenue is up over 41% compared to last year due to a large court fine receipt and local debt recovery program receipts. Miscellaneous revenue is higher primarily to the increase in tower lease fees and NetWest radio system member reimbursements. The NetWest expenditures and reimbursements were previously included in the Emergency Telephone System Fund. With the transition of 911 services to LTACC, NetWest is now included in the general fund. Total general fund expenditures are within expectations at 32% of annual budget and about 55% lower than last year. The decrease is primarily due to the timing of the quarterly payment to LTAC. There are no action items, and that concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Rocco. Commercial Revitalization Committee, Trustee Zora.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Commercial Revitalization Committee met on Thursday, September 13th at Bill's Place to complete a field evaluation of the Maple Avenue 31st Street Business District. Collectively, the committee identified several items to be addressed immediately, cleanup items and code enforcement, and other longer-term improvements such as enhancement of right-of-way, landscaping, facade improvements, and alleyway improvements. The CRC will hold 2 more meetings to evaluate the North of Grange Road 31st Street Business District and the Village Market Business District as follows. On October 1st at 6 p.m., meeting at Panera, and October 3rd at 6 p.m., meeting at Matone. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Zora. Other reports, Village Clerk.
I have a few items to report for the upcoming November 6 elections. For the voters of Proviso Precincts 25 and 75, whose polling place used to be held at Forest Road or St. Paul's Lutheran Church in Brookfield, we are excited to announce it has been moved to the LaGrange Park Library. Also, I will be available at Village Hall on Saturday, October 6th from 9 a.m. to noon to register voters. I will also be available at Plymouth Place on Thursday, October 4th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I will be at Bethlehem Woods on Monday, October 1st from 9 a.m. to noon to register voters. And that is all I have to report.
Thank you, man. I will make one comment. If everyone knows those in precinct 25, which I am, we had to vote in Brookfield last year, and Amanda did a yeoman's job in working with Cook County to get it back to LaGrange Park. So Amanda, on behalf of the village board, thank you.
Especially precinct 25.
Especially precinct 25.
I'm 75.
Village treasurer,
No report.
our village engineer,
No report, Mr. President.
our village attorney.
No report, Mr. President.
Motion to approve community collector's report as presented.
So move.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I have one proclamation. Whereas the Village of LaGrange Park and LaGrange Park Fire Department is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living and visiting our village. Whereas fire is a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at the greatest risk for fire. Whereas LaGrange Park residents should identify places in their home where fires can start and eliminate those hazards. Whereas LaGrange Park residents should install smoke alarms in every sleeping room, outside each separate sleeping area, and on every level of the home, and test them regularly. Whereas LaGrange Park residents should plan and practice escaping from a home fire, as they will be more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. Whereas LaGrange Park residents should consider installing home fire sprinkling systems. And whereas LaGrange Park Fire Department is dedicated to promoting strong fire safety practices, such as providing fire safety education messages to all residents, providing public fire safety education to children in our schools, and by also conducting an annual open house taking place this year on October 20th. Therefore, be it proclaimed that the Village of LaGrange Park, October 7th to the 13th, 2018, proclaimed as Fire Prevention Week throughout our village. And we remind all residents of this year's theme, look, listen, learn, be aware, fire can happen anywhere. And urge all residents to take actions to prevent fires and be better prepared to escape from fire if one should occur. Any other public participation? Any new business from the board? Yes. Brendan, sure.
If I could make one last-minute announcement. We do have the contractor lined up to do the repairs to the water tower, and so we will be draining the water tower on Thursday and switching to pumps from our reservoirs. So there may be some changes in water pressure in the system. We are working our best to try to control that, but still maintain enough pressure to reach the ends of the line. So that will go on for about 10 days before we get the tank back. You know, the repairs are 2 days. Got to repaint inside, we're going to inspect it inside, and then to refill, re-chlorinate it, get all the testing back, and make sure it's proper for distribution. We think we'll have the system down for 10 days. So if people will be patient with us and if they have a chance not to water the lawns on a night like tonight, you probably don't have to. So, thank you.
So basically, residents should maybe cut back on water usage, and they may notice a little bit of pressure difference.
That's correct.
Okay.
Mr.
Thank you,
President?
Brendan. Yes, trustee Rocco.
I'd like to follow up on that because we had discolored, I did call last night, and then this morning, they said it was fine to use the water, but it was discolored, our water, and then this morning again, it was discolored, and we, at one point, we got no water, which now that you've explained that, but are we okay with that discoloring?
Yeah,
It had an odor, or?
It is simply minerals, it is minerals in the water pipes that when you turn a valve, it can release some of those minerals in there, and so generally, if you just flush it through a bathtub or a slop sink that doesn't have a filter, the little threaded filters, you can clear it out within 4 or 5 minutes, depending how close you are to that valve.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, trustee Rocco.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, no other new business? Motion to adjourn?
So move.
A second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned.